Have a great day. You too, I replied lamely, wanting to slap myself in the head for missing an opportunity to open some kind of dialogue with her. She knows my name. How cool is that? I finished my business and floated on a cloud back to work, wishing I had more reasons to be out and about in the bright and sunny spring weather, and at the same time wishing I had more banking to do. But it was a very small branch, and I figured it would be noticed, and possibly thought of as creepy, if I ended up in there 4 or 5 times a week. Plus, I preferred to be somewhat stealthy in my ogling. Elena Walker didn't need to know I was seriously crushing on her, and had been since I'd opened my accounts there 6 months earlier. I did have a tiny bit of pride. Back in my office, I was very happy to see that the muffins I brought in earlier were almost gone. It's not really an office, more of a really large cubicle that I share with Josh Bacon, one of my best buds and the creative writer to my graphic design at T. Harrison Jones and Associates. Hey, Avery, Josh greeted me, not looking up from his keyboard as he chewed. Your muffins suck, by the way. Feigning prim and proper shock, I asked, And just what would you know about my muffins, mister? You'd be surprised. I snorted. What's that, your third one? 4th. He stuffed the last bite into his mouth and reached for a huge volume of Roget's International Thesaurus on the shelf above his head. The damn thing was so heavy, I was continually amazed each time he pulled it down that he didn't knock himself senseless with it. Josh is a gadget man, up on every new piece of electronics on the market today, every camera, every computer, every video game. But he refuses to use the automatic thesaurus on his word program. He told me once he didn't trust it, that he was sure there were way more options for each word than the ones programmed into the computer, and that Microsoft was exercising its worldwide control by making people use only the handful they designated. I told him he was a freak, which he didn't argue. T. Harrison Jones and Associates is a small advertising firm. The staff amounts to just a dozen or so people, but we work very well together, and we've come up with some pretty brilliant campaigns for some of the most successful companies in upstate New York. Small and mighty, that's what Tyrell likes to call us. He's the T in T. Harrison Jones, as well as the owner, CEO, president, all that good stuff. He hired me a little over a year ago, and I have done everything possible to give him the best I have to offer. He treats his staff with respect, something I hadn't seen much of in my past jobs, and I want to stay here as long as I can. Josh was here before me, and Anita Christopher was hired just after me as a senior account executive. The 3 of us make a formidable team, and we helped THJ garner a reputation locally, an impressive one. How is the view at the bank? Josh asked as he squinted at his monitor. As stunning as always, I said, tossing in a dreamy sigh for good measure. Since our computers are placed in the corners of our desks, we actually sit almost with our backs to each other. We'd carried on many a conversation without ever looking at one another. And she had to talk an irritated customer off the ledge. I bet she did it in 6 seconds flat. Josh was also well aware of Elena Walker, since he did his banking at the same branch I did. Easily. I opened up the file on the design for the microbrewery on which I'd been putting the finishing touches. I think he fell in love with her. Well, he'll have to stand in line behind us, Josh said. I tried to tell him that, I said. Telepathically, of course. Did he get the message? I shook my head. I can't be sure. Well, did you drool all over yourself? I think I did. Pig. I hung my head. It's true. I'm such a guy. Josh laughed, a loud bark of a sound that shocks most people the first time they hear it. Well, we're happy to have you counted amongst us. Our witty banter was interrupted by the ringing of my phone, which I snapped up mid-chuckle. Avery King. Hey, you. Sounds like you're having fun over there. Shouldn't you be working and miserable like the rest of us? I grimaced at the voice on the other end of the phone. Lauren and I had been together for almost 3 years and broken up for nearly 2. Our split had been initially ugly, what breakup isn't, but I thought we'd gotten to a place where we were almost friends. Lauren seemed to think so too, and called me every couple of weeks or so.